and also Howard as well. Now, what a remarkable person Michelle is. So full of enthusiasm, energy and dedication. But what is actually astonishing is that she actually founded GIFT 18 years ago. And to start with, she was actually educated at Haberdashers and took a gap year going to Brovender Seminary in Jerusalem before gaining her first degree in psychology at Manchester, an MA in social work at Brunel, and an MA in physiotherapy and counselling at Regents College. And she was shocked by the volume of wasted food from the supermarkets and restaurants, and inspired by Rabbi R'Naftali Schiff's vision, GIFT actually started in 2004 from her kitchen, gathering excess bread and distributing whilst continuing her work as a probationary officer. And she soon became GIFT's first employee. And so many families have benefited from what she has achieved. And there's been a great army of volunteers, some of whom I've had the pleasure of meeting. And she embodies the phrase, to live is to give. So it's a very great pleasure to welcome you this evening, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Wow, what a welcome. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. And really, it's a real honor to be speaking to you all and to have met you, Rochelle, and to have your support and the support of your wonderful community. Thank you so much.
It's all right, great pleasure to have you at last to speak.
Would you like me just to speak and then we'll have some questions?
Yes, that'd be lovely. Yes, that'd be great.
Fantastic.
And then you can perhaps take us on a little bit on a
guided tour around the warehouse.
Yes, so that so our members have got the opportunity to see, you know, the hub of what's the activity.
Okay, fantastic. It's 8:20. What time, how long do we have?
Don't worry, keep going, that's all. We don't mind.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Okay, please, I'm happy to be interrupted. If you have questions, please feel free to interact. I'm very happy to answer any questions that you might have. So yeah, Rochelle kind of gave you the introduction. I've always been involved in the community. In Bnei Akiva, I was a madricha, and I've always in Manchester University, I was the education officer. So I've always been involved in one way or another in the community. And when I was working as a probation officer, it was the most fascinating career, but I kind of missed being hands-on within the Jewish community and you know, helping and you know, being there for our fellow Jewish people. So when Rabbi R'Naftali Schiff asked me around 18 years ago if I'd like to be involved in a new charity he was starting up, I was very excited to come on board. We brainstormed different names of what the charity should be called. We came up with the name GIFT, which is actually an acronym for Give It Forward Today, which we thought was a fantastic name. It was a beautiful name. We were very inspired by a film called Pay It Forward. I don't know if any of you have actually seen that film. It's about a young boy who came up with a social science experiment or project to kind of help the world or save the world. And instead of paying it back when somebody did him a favor, the idea was he paid it forward. You pay it forward to a few different people. And, you know, so if someone lends you something, or if someone lends you something, then or gives you some money, instead of paying it back, you can pay it forward to people. You know, if you see someone homeless or someone that needs your help, you can pay it forward. I'm actually, funnily enough, I've just joined in the warehouse by some wonderful volunteers. I'm just going to turn the camera around just to embarrass them.
Oh, that's good.
This is Julia and Tony Schneider there, and families. Oh, he's hiding. Hello. Now, these wonderful volunteers come every week and pack up lists for families for Shabbos. So I'll be talking about the changes that we've had to be making during Corona, and why we've had to use families instead of groups. But as they walked in, I just wanted to welcome them to you. Apologies, guys, you're going to have to listen to my voice for the next so. Okay, so right, so I mentioned that the name Give It Forward today. That was our that's what we call ourselves, and then we came up with different ideas. Now, the purpose of gift, as you may not realize, especially as we're in the warehouse and we're giving out, we're very focused here on food parcels. Gift is not all about helping those in need necessarily. That's not our focus. Our focus is actually inspiring young people, especially the young people in our community. You may have children or grandchildren that that you find are, how can I put it, very inwardly focused. I'm choosing my words carefully.
Yes.
We find that our children and grandchildren may spend a lot of times on themselves, on their phones, on their machines, on their computers, on Fortnite, and we kind of really saw it as a problem, and we felt that if only children and our grandchildren could have the opportunity and the experience of giving to others, then we could create a much better society. So that's kind of the premise that GIFT was based on. Encouraging, inspiring and educating young people to be more giving in the community. And we're not only talking about money, although there are so many charities and charities can only rely on money and donations. We're also children may not have money, they may not have pocket money, and if they have pocket money, it's usually given by their parents. What we were trying to encourage is for our children to look around them and see opportunities of giving. There's a rabbi called Rav Dessler, I don't know if any of you have heard of him, and he talks about the fact that every opportunity can be either every circumstance, every situation can either be an opportunity to take or to give. And we would like to encourage and inspire and educate our youngsters to see that as an opportunity to give. So the types of things that we encourage, when we actually go into schools, there are various different arms of GIFT. There's the volunteering arm, which I will talk about in a minute. And then there's the education arm. And we go into we're in most primary and secondary schools across the whole of London and Manchester. And we go in and we run sessions, we run education sessions, we run hands-on sessions, educating, inspiring the children about what it means to be a giver. And we do multimedia presentations, and we have discussions with them. I'll give you an example. We all know that the importance of giving tzedakah, charity, but do we know how much charity you're meant to give? And for instance, and how you should give it? And I'll give you an example. We have a project called Small Change, Big Difference. So there we go into the school with a little tzedakah box, and we get the children to decorate the tzedakah box, and we say to them, have a discussion with them, and we say, which is better if you have £1,000 to give to charity? Which is better, to give £1 a day, or to give the whole lot, the £1,000 in one go? And we can discuss the kind of pros and cons about each various method. But at the end of the day, what is better is to give £1 a day, because that makes you into a giving person. It's not just one act of giving. We want to try and encourage and train people into becoming giving people, because we feel that giving people will make better husbands, better wives, better parents, better children, better grandchildren, and a better society, better friends. So that's the kind of education aspect of GIFT. As I said, we go into all schools, the whole spectrum. One beautiful aspect of GIFT is that we're not just there for the frum community or the non-frum community. A lot of different charities or organizations may focus on one end of the community. Because giving is such a universal characteristic, we're happy to be there for the whole community, from one end to the other. And we go into literally schools from one end to from a school around. We're happy to come have us in, which is wonderful. Okay, so I've talked about the education. Now the volunteering. So I'm going to show you around the warehouse. Let me just turn my camera around. So we walk in. As we walk in, actually, from the entrance, we see all these boxes here. Hello, this is one of our wonderful volunteers. We see a whole entrance full of boxes, and all these boxes are ready to be delivered. So we've had wonderful volunteers like the volunteers you've seen in there, and we've had a whole group of volunteers in today, and they've packed boxes full of packages. And if we look closely, this one's a box for Edgeware. So the deliverer will come, they'll see their name there, and they'll take this, and there'll be a list on the top of their box. Let me find the list. Okay, here. So here's a list. They'll have a list on the top of their box with all different addresses. Now there's everything, we try and do everything as anonymous as possible. So there won't be any numbers or addresses on this list. It will just be road names. So this is a list of where this driver is going, and turn this round. So he's doing 10 different drop-offs, and you can see on his list it says we try and personalize things as much as we can. So there's this person has got 8 people in the family, and this family want 8 people in the family. They want 3 challahs, pita bread, 2 sandwich loaves, a dry bag, and a fruit and veg bag. And as you can see down the list, people have specifications. Now it makes life a little bit harder for us to have so many thousands of bags to make that have all specifications. But the difficulty is, if there's a family where the children don't like rye bread, or don't like or only eat wholemeal, they're more healthy, then we try and accommodate as much as we can. So I'm looking at the shelves here. We've got bags that are gluten-free bags. We have people requesting gluten-free bags, diabetic bags. We have people with no cooking facilities. So we try the best we can. In the no cooking facilities, there'll be crackers and tins and biscuits and couscous, because they can just pour hot water into couscous. And there'll be soups that they can just maybe heat up if they've got a microwave, and nuts. So we try our best to accommodate as many types of people as possible. We're helping a lot of people that have mental health problems, and they're referred by the charity Jamie. You may ask, where do our referrals come from? So most of our referrals come from the different welfare organizations. So there's Jewish Care, Norwood, Jewish Blind and Disabled, Jewish Women's Aid, and Jamie. And then different shuls or different charities will refer people to us. So this is the, turn the camera around. This is the shelves of the warehouse. And I just want, at this point, I want to thank you so much for your wonderful donations of food. It's really, really been helpful. So we don't only give out food, there's also you'll see here, wipes and toiletries and dental products, and toiletries, household goods, Shabbos candles. But on the whole, it's food stuff. It's couscous, crackers. We've still got a lot of matzah that people donated from after Pesach, tins, oats. So we rely mainly a lot on donations from different communities, pasta, sweets, grape juice. All this food here is all lined up, ready to be packed by our wonderful volunteer families of volunteers. What we used to have before COVID, before coronavirus, we used to have volunteers coming in once a week, a whole group of volunteers, maybe 50 volunteers coming all at once. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful atmosphere. They'd come to our warehouse and pack up the dry food, and they'd also come and pack up fruit and vegetables. Here's the fruit and vegetables that we have. It was a wonderful atmosphere, but then coronavirus hit and we had to change everything about the way we functioned because we couldn't have groups of volunteers coming in anymore. So then we changed it to family units, and we realized if we can have family units coming in every day, then we can still get the bags packed. So we put a call out for families who could come in on a Sunday or after school or in the evenings. And we were very, very grateful that so many families came in and really saved the day. And they've been coming in literally all year, which has been absolutely amazing. I'm just going to show you other things that we give out, because we give out dry food bags. I've shown you the types of things we give out of the dry food bags, and then we give out fruit and vegetables. So I'll give you, here's a fruit and vegetable bag. So there's leeks in here, there's a mango, there's cauliflower, oranges, potatoes. So we try and give like a nice fruit and veg bag to all the families, as many families as we can. So the fruit and vegetables often comes from supermarket distributors. So when the supermarkets have surplus food, they give it to a charity called Felix or to Fair Share, and then we go with a van once a week and collect all the fruit and vegetables. So here they've had an excess of potatoes, so they've given us sacks and sacks of potatoes. So we never know what we're getting. We're always dependent on whatever is surplus from the supermarket. But if it's good enough to give out, then we'll give it. You'll be pleased to know that nothing is wasted. We don't throw anything away. And if the fruits and vegetables are not good quality, so for instance, all this here, we've decided is not good enough to give out. All this here. So all this is waiting to go to a farm. So we get quite a lot of food that's not great for humans, but it's not wasted, and we give it to a farm. So so every week we give out a dry food bag, fruit and vegetables, and then a bread bag. So in this room, going back to this room here, all around this room are freezers. These are all freezers. And when bakeries, there are so many bakeries around, and when the bakeries finish for the day, thank you, they give us all their surplus bread. Our volunteers come and freeze it. So all these, for instance, are all colour rolls. So we'll get them, and here's colours, lovely colours. There's lovely colours here if you want. So I'm taking these out. So on a Friday afternoon, bakeries have all their colours left over, and they would just literally throw it away if we weren't there, because it's Friday afternoon. It's too short notice before Shabbos to be giving it out. So we have volunteers going to all the bakeries around London, and they collect the colours, and we freeze it straight away. So often they're very warm. And then when we need them, we use them and we send them out. Okay, any questions so far? Shall I carry on? I'll carry on. Please interrupt me if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any.
Joy?
Can I just say?
Oh, Lawrence first, and then we'll have Joy, yeah?
Can I say thank quickly? My grandson,
he's one of your volunteers.
Oh,
well, he
wonderful.
was
What's his name?
Kobe Snow.
Kobe Snow. Oh, I have to do a whole talk on. I'm going to do a whole talk on Kobe Snow in a minute.
Oh,
He is an absolute angel.
Yeah, I know.
That's nice.
I told you that.
And Anthony, his dad as well.
Oh, Anthony is wonderful. So Kobe Snow came to us actually through the charity JVN. I must give them a little shout out. He is wonderful. Not only did the whole family do the fun run for us, and raise money for us, which was wonderful, but whenever we need him, he just comes in with a smile on his face. He schleps for us. He schleps heavy boxes. He comes and organizes things. He delivers food packages. He delivers meals. He's an absolute angel. Whenever we need him, he comes running. He's such a lovely boy. And I think Anthony does deliveries every week.
Yes,
doesn't he?
yes, he does. Yes. Yeah.
So look, we deliver to so many different areas. Whenever we have a referral, we never turn it down. If it's a genuine referral, we never turn them down. So we're delivering food packages from obviously Hendon, Golders Green, Edgware, but to Boreham Wood, to Essex, to Stamford Hill, to Potter's Bar, to Cockfosters, to town, to Kensington, to Wandsworth, to Harlesden. You name it. You come up with an area and we're delivering to, and we're so reliant. We can only do this with the help of our wonderful volunteers. So whenever we come up with whenever we have I think even Southend, we're delivering to Southend. Whenever we have a referral, we're happy to deliver to them if we can find a volunteer. Let me just, I think I just saw something on a chat.
Oh, yes.
Small change, big difference. Is that the initiative? Oh, on airlines. Oh no, so I was actually, let me just go back to the small, someone's just put out a message on about small change, big difference. That might be the initiative on the airline. That's not the one that I was talking to. What I was explaining about small change, big difference is we come in with a Sudoku box, we get the children to decorate it, and we encourage them to put 1 penny in this Sudoku box every day, not more and not less. Well, they can't do less, but not more. And what they see is as soon as the Sudoku box is full, then they pour it into this big, I'm just trying to think if I've got, they pour it into like a big Coca-Cola bottle, and they pour all the coins in, and the whole class is pouring all the coins in every day. And then what they see is small change, literally the small change of small coins, make a big difference. Is anyone, oh, there's a Coca-Cola bottle, I'm coming over here to see. That small change makes a big difference. So this is the Coca-Cola bottle that we have in the classrooms, and the children fill it up with coins. So the idea is small change makes a big difference in terms of literally, in terms of the actual coins. But you know, anyone wanting to make a difference in their lives, you know that you have to do it with small changes, and then you can make a big difference in that way. So I think there was someone else that wanted to ask a question.
Joy.
Yes, I was interested to see round your warehouse there that you have all these enormous freezers. Where did the funds come from to buy all these freezers, and also the warehouse that you're using?
Yes, that's a very good question, Joy. Thank you for asking. So Gift started off, I think Rochelle mentioned, Gift started off in my house 18 years ago, and then we didn't have any freezers, we didn't have anything. So in those very early days, we were still getting the challah from the bakeries, but we had nowhere to store it. So I would put on a message, I would call around, does anyone have a spare freezer or a spare shelf? And what we used to do, we used to have maybe 5 or 10 black sacks of challah, and we used to store it in people's freezers in a shelf. If people had a spare shelf in their freezer, we would use their spare shelf. And then every Friday, volunteers would have to collect from those shelves, you know, someone in Hendon had 2 spare shelves, someone in Golders Green had 3 spare shelves. So that's how we did it at the beginning. And then when when we kind of grew out of my house, however many years ago, it must have been about 12 years ago, we managed, I think, we applied for a grant, I think, for our first £1,000, and we managed to kind of start with that. We with our first £1,000, we employed somebody to apply for more grants, and slowly we built up. Now all our funds come, we don't get very many government grants. So most of our money comes from individual donations. So the foods that we collect comes from very generous people that are happy to do short collections or street collections. During coronavirus, people were very happy to do collections in their street. Everyone's got WhatsApps nowadays, so they put on a street group, WhatsApp group. We're collecting on Sunday between 1 and 5 for the charity gift. Please bring over a packet of pasta or some some jam or some crackers, a box of crackers or some cereals. And slowly, as I was explaining, small change makes a big difference. One donation after another makes a big difference. And so we're very grateful for street donations or for shawl donations, even school donations. But we also team up with different connect with different food banks. So if we get non-kosher food, then we can trade it off. Or if we get an excess of these potatoes, we can trade it with another food bank, and they can give us something that we need, and that they have a surplus of. But we're very reliant on individual donations. If you have Kol Nidre appeals, we ask shawls if they wouldn't mind, if they'd be able. I think your shawl, yes, your shawl
that's right. Yes,
to us. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. So your shawl donated to us. So we're really reliant on the generosity of shawl communities and and individual people in the community. The good thing about the food aspect of gift is people have a soft spot for this situation. No one likes to know that any Jewish person is going hungry, and that people are quite shocked at the idea that Jewish people are hungry and don't have enough food. So when people buy food, they know that food is going, 100% of that food is going to go to someone in need. We have something called a gift box. I don't know if you've let me see if I can find one in the warehouse. At your local kosher shops, just trying to see if I can see one. Outside kosher shops, there are these storage boxes called gift boxes. And when people go shopping, the idea is you can go shopping and buy an extra item of food. Again, just as we want to make giving easy, people will encourage people to buy one extra item of food, put it into the gift box outside their shop. It's like a food collection box. And then our volunteers, and it's so wonderful that our volunteers, as soon as they pass their driving test, they're so excited to do something chesed, and to do an act of kindness and goodness, and go and collect the items from the gift boxes around London. So that's like a wonderful thing to encourage our youngsters to do. Talking about volunteering, we have the food aspect. I know we're kind of in the warehouse looking at all the food and talking about the food, but this is kind of only one small aspect of what we do. Our volunteering, we have so many different volunteering opportunities. Morris, if I can trouble you to share that screen, and then I can show you some of the other volunteering opportunities that people have been involved in, and that can be involved in. Wonderful. Can everyone see this? Can everyone see the screen?
Yeah, perfectly.
So during coronavirus, we seem to expand in a huge way. I'm just looking at the screen now. I'll start with a tutoring club. That's kind of the bottom left. You going? Thank you so much, Tony. Lovely to have you here. Thank you. Bye-bye, Julia. Lovely to see you. Thank you. We've always looked out for volunteering opportunities that we can inspire young people to do. Now, obviously, food packing is one of them, but not everyone wants to do that or enjoys doing that. Some people are very intelligent and very studious and are happy to give 1 or 2 hours a week of their time and their expertise to help other young children with their work. And it can be teenagers, it can be young professionals, it can be students. Everyone, you know, who's got a brain can give a little bit of time. Even children that are just good at reading can help a younger child to read. And during coronavirus, when the lockdown, when schools were closed, we had parents knocking on our doors desperate. Can you find me a tutor? You know, please, our kids, we can't cope with our kids. There are so many kids around. We've no idea how to teach science or maths. We don't understand the maths. And we put a call out to all volunteers in the area. And we had so many hundreds of children, students that were happy to give an hour of their time tutoring other children. So we did it online. We didn't, obviously, everyone was in lockdown. And we set up an online platform, and we had over 550 pairs of tutors and tutees helping with all different subjects across the whole spectrum, from maths to science to languages, teaching bar mitzvah, singing, laning, anything. You know, we put out a call out if someone needed help with anything, then we managed to find a pair, which was absolutely wonderful, and we've carried that on. So you know that's kind of available now for during exam time or not exam time. So that's been an absolute amazing success. Going along the bottom, we arranged for NHS hospital and care home packs. So people wanted to show their gratitude to hospital staff. So we managed to get donated little snacks, little hand sanitizers, little body lotions, little bottle of water, and we made up 6,000 packs of gratitude packs, and we gave them out to hospitals and doctors and care workers and cleaners in the hospitals and janitors and caretakers, anyone that makes hospitals functional. We were very happy to do that, and we had loads of volunteers making up the packs, which was wonderful. We couldn't go into schools running classes, but we had online sessions, and we made films, and we had, you know, loads of our online sessions were put into schools, which was wonderful. Laptops, toys, bicycles, and furniture. So again, you had children that they were stuck at home in lockdown, but they couldn't click onto their schoolwork because they didn't have a laptop. And we had very generous people donating laptops and iPads to us, and we had volunteers fixing them because a lot of the iPads were broken or they needed wiping. We had wonderful volunteers that were happy to fix laptops, that fixed bicycles. We gave out hundreds of bicycles, furniture, toys. So that was wonderful. Then we had other children that were saying to parents that were saying, you know, our children are bored at home. Can you come up with an activity that we can do at home? So we found, we got names of people, elderly people in care homes, old age homes and care homes, and we sent out these lists of names, and we got 12,650 cards written, personalized cards written, you know, dear Norma, you know, we're thinking of you. We had wonderful pen pals going, and they would draw pictures of themselves or write cards about themselves and send these cards. We then delivered them to the care homes, and it was so wonderful for the people in the care homes to have personalized cards written to them. It was very, very special. We had WhatsApp groups, 7,000 requests on WhatsApp groups for help for shopping, to get prescriptions, to get medication, to take people to hospitals. So we set up a number of different WhatsApp groups for people to answer these requests, and we were inundated. It was an absolutely incredible time. People were desperate to help others, and we managed to do it through the medium of our WhatsApp groups. Again, food parcels delivered. We've been inundated with requests for food packages. Before COVID, we were giving out around 250 families. Now it's over 350 families, so it's gone up around 40% more requests for food, referrals to us. People that never came to charities before suddenly found themselves with no work, with no money, with no income. Their businesses had failed, or they were in the music industry, the entertainment industry. So they came to us for food parcels, and luckily, with the help of the generosity of the communities, we were able to give out more and more food to people. And then hot meals. I just wanted to talk about the hot meal situation, because a lot of people found themselves shielding or isolated at home, but the people couldn't necessarily cook for themselves. A lot of elderly men that would usually have gone to family for meals, family for Yontifs or for Shabbases, and they found themselves stranded at home. They couldn't go out to the shops to buy food. And at the same time, we had loads of people that were knocking on our doors and saying, we want to help those in the community that are shielding. And so people started making hot meals for other people in the community. Now, because of kashrus and because of health and safety, we didn't want to kind of go down that road. So we managed to apply for a grant, and the grant enabled us to purchase thousands of catered meals, which we then delivered to those people that were isolating and shielding, which was wonderful. Yesterday, we started up, after months of planning, we started up a new food cooking initiative where we now have volunteers cooking in a proper licensed and hechshed kitchen in our office. We're under the Federation Kashrus Authority, and we managed to start up a new cooking project where we have a caterer, and we have volunteers cooking meals for those people that are struggling and can't cook for themselves. So we've been very, very busy over this time. Okay, any more questions while I'm talking? Yes, is that Rochelle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are your premises? Where do you work out of?
This warehouse is on the Watford Way near Hendon Central Station, and we have an office round the corner. We have 12 employees. Most of us are part-time. We have 2 people working in schools. We've just employed actually a B'nai Mitzvah coordinator, because so many children want to celebrate their bar and bat mitzvah, and we want that to be like a pivotal moment for them to really do something meaningful, not just to kind of throw money at a big function. We want their bar bat mitzvah to be a real important milestone in their life, and to celebrate it in a meaningful way. So we've just employed a part-time B'nai Mitzvah coordinator. Then we have a family liaison officer who, when we get a referral from different organizations, she contacts them and she goes and does a home visit to check.
I'm very embarrassed. I couldn't hear her speaking. You've got to do something about it.
We have a family liaison officer.
Sorted yours out, sort mine.
Oh, I think someone needs to does someone need to go on mute themselves?
Mute, please. Yes, could you mute yourselves, please?
Who checks that everyone that's coming to us is bona fide, and checks how much support, what support we can give them. So we don't only give them food, we also have a project called Helping Hand, where we send volunteers once a week to help after school with the children, or help with a newborn, or help with an elderly person, shopping or cooking for them, or taking children to the park. So we have a number of different volunteering opportunities to help people that are struggling.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about the Manchester and Israel distribution centres and where they actually are as well.
Sure. So thank you for bringing that up. So we have a Manchester
Yeah.
office. We have two lovely people who run the Manchester office. They do something on a very, very similar line to London. They have a smaller, I think they help between 30 and 50 families, but they have a very similar kind of setup to London. They're based in Salford. And in Israel, we're based in Jerusalem. We don't distribute food in the same way in Israel as we do here, because there are so many food-based charities. But what our Israel coordinator does is she goes into schools educating in the same way as they do here. She also she invites people to make meals for lone soldiers. Another thing she does actually, which is a wonderful idea, if people want to go to Israel on a trip for a week or two, and they want to spend some time volunteering, she will make a tailor-made trip for a family or for a group of people volunteering in various different locations, so to make their experience in Israel really meaningful. So it could be Leket collecting picking food, fruit and vegetables from a field. It could be Yad Sarah fixing up medical equipment, wheelchairs. It could be I think pantry packers, packing food packages. It could be volunteering with in an orphanage. So that's like a really wonderful kind of aspect to her work. She also goes into yeshivas and sems when they're leaving for their gap year, and they have shampoos or duvets, things that they may not necessarily bring back. She will collect all those items and give it to disadvantaged communities. So we find creative ways of inspiring people to be giving.
Yeah, that's quite remarkable, really.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Wasn't any more questions? Maurice, can you see if anybody's got any more questions?
I'm just thinking if I've covered everything. There are so many things, aspects to it. We're doing a lovely project for Duke of Edinburgh. Have you heard of the Duke of Edinburgh project initiative? So they're year 9 in school upwards. If they do some volunteering, then they get if they do 6 months of volunteering, they get an award, the Duke of Edinburgh award. So what we do with them is we they can make biscuits or muffins. They can bring it to the warehouse, and we give those out to homeless shelters. We mainly cater for Jewish people, but not only. So we have a lovely project to help the homeless. I'm just trying to see if it's in our kitchen area. If I can show you. So people can make up packages for the homeless. Just trying to think. Maybe we may have just delivered. I'm showing you actually the family that just came in to volunteer. Look how many boxes they've made up. The whole room is literally packed with boxes, and these will all be collected this evening or tomorrow and delivered. I was just showing you the different areas. Greenwich, look, someone's delivering to Greenwich. He's delivering to Hendon. He's delivering to Colindale. Where else are we delivering to? Green, Edgware, North Hendon, Walthamstow. Look, this lovely young man delivering to Walthamstow. Boreham Wood. So it's literally wherever, there are people struggling all over the place. Going back to the home. Oh, I think here are the homeless. Oh no, this is lovely. In this box, if I can get it down, probably. In this box, there are packages made for ambulance Crew and Hut Solar, and people can make up little packs of like snacks and a thank you card, and they put it into this, come and drop it off, and we have other volunteers dropping it off to Hut Solar and to ambulance crew, and we've got the same type of thing with the homeless packs.
Yeah.
Look up there, can you see NHS gratitude pack? So we've got this a similar thing for the homeless, and we make little bags for them with scarves and gloves and hats, and little snacks, water, toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, and snacks. And the idea is when our volunteers are driving around in their cars, they can take a homeless pack into their car, and then when they see a homeless person, they can just literally they've got something to give them straight away. So it's people, I know people struggle with giving homeless people money, but here's like a little pack that's there for them. So we try and think of everything.
Oh, fantastic. Roy asked, what's your biggest challenge? Would you see getting volunteers or supplies?
So thank God we don't seem to have a problem getting volunteers, which is absolutely amazing. We're flooded with volunteers,
yes.
Which is wonderful, really wonderful. We're kind of often struggling to find opportunities for them to kind of do. That's why the whole time we have to come up with new opportunities.
Yeah.
Or I had something else to show you actually. We've got litter pickers in the other room, where during lockdown people wanted to do something, so we gave them high visibility jackets and litter pickers, and let them go in families tidying up parks and different areas. What was our biggest challenge? Volunteers or funds? I think funds. I'm in charge of fundraising, and I really struggle with it. Nobody likes asking for things, let alone money. The way I kind of approach this, I try and kind of invite people to share in our, to share in our charity and to kind of be partners with us, and to support us in that way. So it's not the easiest job to do, fundraising, but that's probably is my biggest challenge. Also because I love giving, and I love being part of this warehouse. I kind of find myself drifting here rather than focusing on the fundraising, but it really has to be done. There are times when, just looking at showing you the shelves, there are times when at the moment we're quite well stocked, but if you look at this whole run of food, so this is all going out next week, all this whole line of food. So you can imagine if we're using up all that, if we're using up all this food every week, that amount of food, the shelves are getting very empty. So we'll start getting very empty. We have to do fundraising, otherwise we're not going to be able to help others. So that's really what it is. We're inspiring the community to help the community. That's how I kind of see it.
Yeah, amazing. Do you have any more questions, Michelle? No? Oh, Joy, do you want to unmute yourself? Could you unmute yourself, Joy? Not quite. No? Do you want to put it on the chat, Joy?
If someone wanted to send a donation, I've just unmuted it. Where would they send it to? If you say you have a place in Watford, did you say?
No, Watford Way, on the Hendon Way. Our office is in the Hendon Way. That's really kind of you. I don't. Perhaps Rochelle or Morris can put up our address or
that'd be good. Yes.
Afterwards, that would be so appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joy. I really appreciate that.
I'm sure there's people here that want to send.
Yes, Joy.
Yes. When I asked before about your warehouse and the funding for the freezers and that, I didn't hear the actual answer.
You're right, you didn't. Yeah, so here I am, kind of lying on, kind of leaning on all these freezers. So you're right, we have got a lot of freezers. So we try and be very innovative. We actually contacted an insolvency accountant, and he deals with a lot of properties that are closing down. So we found someone that was dealing with a lot of restaurants or bakeries, and one by one we built up. We managed to get donations of. So I think every single one of these, actually bar one of these freezers, were kind of donated. I mean, they're a little bit rickety. This one, like, hardly closes. This, oh, I don't know if you saw that. The hinge. There's something wrong with the hinge on this one. Yeah, one by one. I think one of these we bought new. Someone gave us a donation. But I'll show you around. Yes, they're all kind of quite old, and but we've managed to keep going. Yeah, we actually fill every single one up, which is amazing. This is actually oh, this one's a bit falling to pieces. But so we kind of by Friday morning, they're kind of, we've emptied them because we've used the bread from them for the whole week, and then Friday afternoon we have to have them empty, because that's when our volunteers go around to all the different bakeries, and they collect the challahs and the bread, yes, and they restock. And then we have a wonderful volunteer that comes in either Motzei Shabbos, Saturday night, or Sunday morning, and puts challahs in one, and sliced bread in another, and rolls in another, and pita in another, which is wonderful and very, very helpful. So yes, I hope that answers your question. Thanks. But when things go wrong, I mean, then it gets very expensive. When a freezer goes wrong and we need a new freezer, it's quite a few hundreds of pounds to get. We have to have chest freezers, because our volunteers just come and have to throw in a black bag of full of bread. We can't start putting it on shelves.
Say you went to a big store such as Marks and Spencer's. When I used to work at Watford part-time, I used to go into the basement, because that's where the stock rooms were. And we would pass Marks and Spencer's, and all the sandwiches in packages would be outside. And someone once asked, what do you do with them? And they say they throw them out. But these were perfect sandwiches. Would they be used to you? Do you go to Marks and ask them for any things that they don't use?
So it's heartbreaking to see, and we often see them throwing them into a skip, literally just throwing sandwiches into a skip. I'll explain to you what we can and can't do about perishable food, because from this warehouse we're giving out dry non-perishable food, and then we're giving out the bread and the fruit and vegetables.
These are in packets.
This is still okay, but we often get asked, we often get contacted by the kosher shops, like the delicatessens, or the butchers like Sheffers or Kosher Deli, and at the end of the day they'll have chicken soup, and they'll have chopped liver, and they'll have egg and onion, and all this type of thing, and they say, can you take it, otherwise we've got to throw it away. Now, health and safety, unfortunately, because of if God forbid somebody got ill and we'd given them some chopped liver, and we don't know how long it's been out of the fridge, or how long the volunteer took, or what kind of temperature was in the car when the volunteer collected it from this shop to us. But what we do is we got around it in a very clever way, we think. We have volunteers that are kind of based in different areas. So we've got a volunteer in Golders Green, and in Edgware, and Boreham Wood, and we say to them, when a family is referred to us, we will say to them, we can't give out perishable food, cooked perishable food, but we know someone that can. are you okay if we give your details to them? And then this volunteer, and then we send all the perishable food to this volunteer, and then they will phone up all these families on their list, and they'll say, come round, and there'll be chulent, and there'll be kugels, and there'll be chopped liver, and egg and onion and chicken soups. And then it's up to the recipient if they want whatever they want to take. And that way, it's not through gift. It's kind of going around gift, but in the same way that we still enable them to get the food, and we stop all this food being thrown away. So have to do it getting around it in a clever way, because God forbid if someone got ill, then unfortunately we could be sued or closed down, and we can't take that risk.
Thanks. Well, we've had a question in from here. So instead of giving gifts, for example, chocolates or flowers, do you have cards that one could give to one's host to confirm that a donation has been made?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I love that idea. Thank you.
How can we obtain them then?
If you give out our office number,
yes,
after the Zoom, then if you call our office, we can send you certificates. We have little certificates that say, if any of you are technologically minded, they can do it online. On our website, we have certificates that you can personalize yourselves, saying, and you can do that for a Shabbos or for an event, for a Mazel Tov. Instead of giving like a bar mitzvah boy another pen or another, I don't know, camera, you can say a donation has been made to give money to another boy in need on your special occasion. So you can personalize your own certificate online. If you can do that, then fine. If not, maybe our lovely admin staff can help you with that. So we can give you our number, and I'm sure they'd be very happy to help you with that.
Yeah, thanks very much.
And again, chocolates on Shabbos, no one needs another bottle of wine or another bottle of chocolates. So we can do it for Shabbos or for Yom Tov or for an anniversary. One thing in our warehouse which is very nice, we have a board, an honours board, where people have donated.
That's lovely. Yeah.
It's an honours board where people have donated in loving memory of so and so. And they've donated a week's worth of food for the families. So or if someone wanted to donate a fruit and vegetable order, people do that as well. And then we could stick a nice label on. We've got labels that we can put on the food packages saying sponsored in loving memory of, or on the occasion of a wedding anniversary or a bar mitzvah. That's really special to know that you've donated fresh fruit and vegetables for families that are struggling. That's very special for your site or something.
Yeah. You got any more questions? No? Well, Michelle, I know that I've got plenty of energy, but I can say I'm quite amazed at the whole thing, the whole package, as it were, because it's not just to do with food. And you've done the amount of work that you've done over the lockdown that's been tremendous. And it's been a wonderful opportunity, not only to hear you this evening, but actually for you to actually take us around the warehouse, because so many people on this call this evening have actually donated to the food bank fund, and it's a good opportunity for our community to see what's involved and what you've been doing, really. So thank you so much for spending time with us this evening, and also meeting some of your volunteers, and shakora to you, and I look forward to seeing you again, and I'm sure people this evening will actually think about it in the future, and as I said, perhaps decide if they've got a simcha or they got a yurt site, they might think of actually donating in that sort of way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been a real honour for me to talk to you all here this evening. And again, thank you so much